There are certain celebrities we assume might not be that smart, but just wait until you find out these stars' high IQs. You'll be shocked by the intelligence test score of a very famous politician. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today we're sharing 10 celebs who are smarter than you think. Nolan Gold. First things first, let's delve into what an IQ actually is. It stands for Intelligent Quotient. You take a standardized test and you get a score. The average IQ is between 85 and 115. That is what 2/3 of people have. You need to be in the top 2% of the population to join Mensa, which is the society for people with high IQs. There are different IQ tests with different scoring scales. On the Culture Fair test, which is used by British Mensa, a score of 132 puts you in the top 2%. But on the B3 test used by Mensa branches, a score of 148 or above is required. So how did Nolan Gold get on? The Modern Family star knocked it out of the park with a reported IQ score of 150. The actor plays Luke Dumpy in the hit sitcom, a character that no one would describe as clever. Quite the opposite, in fact. But Nolan is clearly nothing like his on-screen counterpart in the brains department. He graduated from high school at just 13 and is a member of Mensa. We know that actors aren't really the same as their characters, but we can't help but be shocked by just how smart Nolan is. Cindy Crawford. There are certain assumptions that many of us make about models, like they're not particularly clever. But like all stereotypes, there are exceptions to the general consensus, and Cindy Crawford is a shining example of this. The supermodel graduated as valedictorian of her high school. Not only that, but Cindy also earned an academic scholarship to Northwestern University to study chemical engineering. But she had a negative experience straight away. When she arrived at her first calculus class at college, the professor singled her out. She recalls that he said he thought she had the wrong class. Unsurprisingly, that snap judgment made her so mad. It was the first time in her life that she felt judged by the way she looked, and it left a lasting impression on her. It set her on a course of feeling she had to prove to the world that she wasn't what he thought, and it was really important to her to represent herself as someone who has a brain. She went on to drop out of college and pursue her modeling career, but she still really values the college experience. The supermodel has even encouraged her children, both models, to go to college, and it's reported that she has an IQ of 154. So what have we learned from this? That we definitely shouldn't judge a book by its cover. It just goes to show you can have brains and beauty. Lisa Kudrow. Lisa Kudrow is best known for playing Phoebe Buffet on Friends. But what do you think of when you remember Phoebe? Perhaps the silly, funny song Smelly Cat, or her joyful, childlike running style. You probably wouldn't think of a college education, biological research, or a high IQ. The character is lovingly described as ditzy by many fans. She is certainly not someone you would think of when the word clever comes up, but the actress who plays her is surprisingly different. Lisa is said to have an IQ of 154, which easily qualifies her to be a member of Mensa. She also has an impressive educational background. Lisa graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in biology from Vassar College. Not only that, but she also used her degree in an impressive field. Lisa went on to carry out scientific research with her father, headache specialist Dr. Lee Kudrow. She helped him investigate the likelihood of left-handed people developing cluster headaches. Not only did she get a credit on the research, but Lisa also worked at her father's practice for 8 years. It just goes to show, yet again, that these actors are very skilled at playing characters totally different to what they're actually like in real life. DOLPH Lundgren. You might know DOLPH Lundgren best as an action movie star, but he has a surprising previous life which involves chemical engineering. There are certain facts about his past that aren't so shocking. He worked as a model and a bouncer. He has a black belt in karate. These are totally plausible things given his good looks, size, and expertise in fighting. But what is quite the surprise is that he has a reported IQ of a massive 160. DOLPH excelled at school from a young age. The Swedish actor dreamed of going to America, so he set out to earn academic scholarships to get him there. And he surely achieved that. Amongst the many universities he attended, he studied chemical engineering at Washington State University and won a competitive Fulbright scholarship to MIT. But then he met Grace Jones, and she introduced him to the world of show business. So he quit the program at the prestigious college in Massachusetts and embarked on an acting career in New York instead. And by 1985, he was set on a new career path. That's when he starred in Rocky IV, and he credits his role as boxer Ivan Drago as changing his life. DOLPH went on to star in a slew of action movies, including The Expendables, and was even cast as He-Man. KESHA. When we watch pop stars doing their thing, it's hard to imagine them ever being on a path to a different career. But some singers weren't always destined for a life in music. Take KESHA for example. She was quite the super brain at school. The pop star described herself as being very studious. She was in the International Bachelorette program and loved physics and math. What did she do for kicks? She was in a marching band, and when practice was over, she would drive to a college in Nashville called Belmont. Why so? Because just for fun, she would listen in on Cold War history classes, which she found so interesting. She got 1,500 out of 1,600 on her SATs, which is pretty much near perfect. She shares that in common with Ben Affleck, who also had almost perfect SAT scores in high school. In her own words, KESHA was all set out for life of academia. She was even offered a full scholarship at Barnard College and planned to study psychology and religion, but she chose instead to drop out of high school a month away from graduation and follow her music dream. She never looked back. So, just how clever is KESHA? It's reported that her IQ score is 140. Yep, she's definitely super smart. GEENA Davis. Most people think driving a car off a cliff isn't a very intelligent move, but GEENA Davis and Suzanne Sarandon's characters did just that in Thelma and Louise. As we've seen with a couple of other actors, however, the real person can be very far from the roles they play on screen. When it comes to GEENA, she's definitely not dumb. The actress is an official member of Mensa. In fact, she's one of the very few famous people to be a part of the Society for Highly Intelligent People. Other prominent Mensans are authors, inventors, and attorneys. They're not exactly household names, but GEENA most definitely is. She has a reported IQ of 140. You have to be in the top 2% of the population to be able to join Mensa, so GEENA is right up there. Do you want to know some more little-known facts about her intelligence? The actress can speak fluent Swedish. She has a degree from Boston University, and how about this? She even made it to the semifinals for the US Olympic archery team in 1999 after only 2 years playing the sport. That's not all. The Academy Award-winning actor also founded the GEENA Davis Institute on Gender and Media. Talk about a high achiever. Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone's leg-crossing scene in Basic Instinct will follow her for the rest of her life, but there's a lot more to this actress than playing the part of attractive, appealing women. She actually had a high IQ and an academic past. Sharon loved writing from a young age. She went to college in Pennsylvania on a writing scholarship when she was just 15 years old. The actress has even had stories published in several magazines, and she's written songs too. She certainly had the combination of brains and beauty. Sharon studied creative writing and fine arts at Edinburgh University, but left to pursue a modeling career before graduating. Several years later, however, the college made up for it by awarding her an honorary degree in 2007. Her career took the path of beauty pageants, fashion modeling, and then acting. And she credits her intelligence as the basis of her sexy persona. After her breakthrough role in Total Recall, Sharon appeared in popular magazines, and the actress claims this was the moment she started being given the kinds of roles she became known for. She says she decided that because she was a very bookworm person, she would have to use her intelligence of how to be sexy. And that quickly led to Basic Instinct. Despite having a reported IQ score of around 154, Sharon eventually admitted that she wasn't a member of Mensa, contrary to previous claims. Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher has made a name for himself playing dim-witted characters, amiable goofs, and pranking celebrities, of course, unpunked. But there's actually quite a bit of substance behind his good-looking buffoon facade. In his own words, the actor was a really good student and didn't get in trouble. At the age of 18, he was expecting acceptances to both MIT and Purdue to study engineering. But then he made a massive mistake. It resulted in Ashton losing his college scholarships and getting kicked out of the National Honor Society. What did he do? He broke into his high school. Ashton spent the night in jail and was convicted of third-degree burglary. He was sentenced to 180 hours of community service and 3 years probation. That is not really a smart move, but he looks back on it as a great life lesson. And he was still allowed to graduate. In fact, he was in the top 5 of his class. Ashton still made it to college too. He ended up at the University of Iowa. While there, he entered the Fresh Faces of Iowa modeling competition and won. His prize was a trip to New York. When he realized he could get work as a model, he dropped out of his engineering course. Everybody thought it was a pretty foolish choice, but Ashton pointed out that most of the great things in the world come from really illogical decisions. It said his IQ is 160. Donald Trump. There is a view amongst some people that President Donald Trump isn't very bright, but the president is keen to point out they're wrong. In 2014, he tweeted to people he called losers and haters, claiming that his IQ score is one of the highest. He also challenged London Mayor Sadiq Khan to an IQ test competition to prove who's the smartest. Trump came up with the challenge after the mayor called him ignorant regarding his plan to ban Muslims from entering America. It has been reported that Trump has an IQ of 156. That is said to be based on the admissions criteria of Wharton Business School at the University of Pennsylvania. Although Trump did attend the Ivy League college, he didn't actually go through the normal admissions process for the business school. He transferred to Wharton from the main Pennsylvania intake during his first year, so others have estimated his IQ as being more like 120 to 130. Regardless of the exact number, he does have a Bachelor of Science degree in economics and anthropology. He's a billionaire businessman, and he's the President of the United States. So perhaps we shouldn't be so surprised that there are some brains there. He also claimed that his cabinet has the highest IQ ever. Dylan and Cole Sprouse. It's often thought that if you like playing pranks and fooling around, then you're not smart, but that isn't necessarily the case. As Dylan and Cole Sprouse prove, the twins are best known for their roles as Zack and Cody on Disney's TV show The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. And they're also known for being jokers. But did you also know that the brothers took 4 years out of the spotlight to attend NYU's Gallatin School of Individualized Study? Cole studied archaeology and Dylan studied video game design. All of that serious studying at a prestigious institution didn't put a dent in their sense of humor, though. At graduation, they tricked everyone with a classic twin move. They received each other's diplomas. Dylan even said, "You can see this for yourself if you look up his graduating photo." So why did they play the prank? It's simple. They just decided there's no reason not to, as no one's going to notice. The brothers like to have fun with their image in the industry, too. They kept black and white photos from when they were 13 on their IMDb pages, but that definitely doesn't mean they're dumb. Even when they were engaging in a silly Twitter battle, trying to humiliate one another, they showed how intelligent they are. Among the embarrassing photos, Dylan shared a screenshot of Cole's IQ score, which is 122. That's not too shabby now, is it? Check out our friends at The Things who make interesting feel-good videos about lifestyle, pop culture, and everything viral that is sure to keep you entertained. Are you surprised by their intelligence? Which of these smart celebs surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments and give our video a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching.